So you want to be more, capturing conceptually what it is you want to do versus like, oh my God, do I have to try and screen share every one of these marketing pieces? Now, that's a Tom Ferry thing, run plays that work. If I was in front of my own office or my own audience, it would say run plays at work. And then in parentheses, it'd say stop doing dumb shit. Because a lot of people are doing dumb stuff right now. It's like if your kids playing, tennis and you see them doing the wrong thing over and over again, or your favorite sports team is running a play that isn't working. You're like, stop running that play. It's the same thing in business. The best people are trying to focus in on these are the plays that work to get listings, run them over and over and over until the market or something stops you, but stop doing dumb stuff that isn't working. So here's a bunch of stuff that's working. Take a look at this postcard by Mike Fields. Great agent, Saratoga, right up in New York. But check this out. So he actually sent out 12,000 of these postcards. I got from his coach, Jeff Mays, literally within an hour of the first 3,000 pieces that hit. So please excuse the, direct, conversation text that got put on there, but 58 responses from the first 3,000, 2 listing appointments in the first week or hour, that it hit, 9,000 more going out this week. This campaign resulted in 10 listings taken from one postcard. Now, why? Black, nondescript, nothing about I'm Mike, I'm number one, I'm the, Hooby-Doo, just check your home value here. And as they're sitting there, they did what they do in every restaurant because of the pandemic. They and just like that, captured cell phone, email, first name, last name, automatically taking it to maybe something like this, which you all know, HomeBot. And just like that, capturing all the data. This piece is a play that you should run. Now, the mistake that you're going to make, and by the way, you could see that there looks like there's stuff on there. He's actually putting it up to his screen. It's a black, glossy, nondescript, no branded QR code. Check your home value here and mailed it. Make sense? Don't muddy it up. Keep it exactly as it is. Run plays at work. Versus, I love this. We have a lot of clients that are using HomeBot. I think it's a terrific solution. And again, it's a postcard, QR code. Bam, give people what they want and make it easy. And we know with a solution like HomeBot, you're getting activated in real time, right? Hey, this many people are looking at it. Hey, these people keep looking at price over and over again. Hey, these people are looking at this. And now you know who to follow up on. That's a time efficiency to double the amount of leads you're generating and double your conversion. Now, I love this piece. And I'm not just dogging Zillow. It's just a good reminder, right? Zillow's wrong most of the time. We have clients that are literally putting on there, here's what Zillow says. Want to know what your home is actually worth? Here's a recent sale that would show your home value is actually at X. And we see this to expired listings. We see it to people inside their geographic farms. We see it to people inside their database as an example, and so much more. Now, take a look at this one really fast. And I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time here because, Chris, I clearly have more content. You know me, I have a tendency to bring more content than I have time. But somebody just asked me recently, hey, Tom, so if I wanted to have like 26 listings taken, what would be the worst case scenario of the math required to get there if I was a brand new agent or a veteran and everything in between? And I basically gave it to you. It's 2,600 conversations over 12 months, 20 days, 12 conversations a day, right? I recommend 6 to your past clients in Sphere and 6 to new conversations every day. This business is just a math equation. Choose your heart. Tom, I can't afford direct mail. You can afford to do this. You can afford to do this, my friends, but let's keep jamming. You ready? So here's a campaign I want you to run. I mentioned earlier, 16 at 16 and a half. So every 16 and a half of this campaign done in the right order is producing an immediate listing presentation, right? An opportunity of someone saying, I'd like you to come over and talk to me about getting my home on the market and getting it sold. This is a bananas, unbelievable solution that every one of you should be doing, especially with your past clients, your Sphere, and of course, your leads that you've been nurturing for a couple of years. So we call it the equity checkup. You can see it here. Some would call it the CMA a day campaign. What do we want to do? We want to send one CMA per day out via email every day to one individual for the next 60 straight days. One CMA a day for 60 straight days. Now, as soon as you send the email, you immediately want to go like this. Hey, Tom and Kathy, I just sent you your home's latest value. Now, I could be worth even more. I'm going to call you tomorrow to ask you a few questions to find out, but make sure you check that email today. All right, talk to you tomorrow. And I send the video. Now they're like, they just got the video. They're looking for the email. They open it up. And then what do I do the next day? I call and I go, hey, Miles, Courtney, what'd you think about that price? And they're like, wow, man, I keep hearing that home prices are going down. Yeah, that's just the news trying to scare us. The reality is, in a high interest rate environment and a high inflation environment, home prices actually go up, which is why I'm calling today, because I actually want to spend some time with you and Miles, maybe in the next 2 weeks, 20, 30 minutes, either at your house or we can do it over Zoom. I want to bring you up to speed on the national market, the local market. And then I want to talk to you specifically about what the expectation is of pricing over the next 5 years. And then make sure that you and Miles are in the best possible decision or frame so you can make good decisions about how much equity you guys have built up in your house. Sound good? You know what they all say? Yeah. Especially when you give them the option of face-to-face or Zoom. So you can deliver it like this if you wanted in mail. I like the email version of it, but both are totally effective. Now, people say to me, if I had to narrow it down, who'd you send it to? People that bought a house from you in the last, 24 months to say, 60 months would be optimal. But you might want to write this down. Recent survey, 1,561 home buyers during the pandemic. So small sample size, home buyers during the pandemic, 50% of them were dissatisfied with the home that they bought. Well, when I wrote 3 offers, didn't get one accepted, finally gave my kidney and my firstborn to get a no bedroom, 3-bath house, but at least I finally got one. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance you might want to send it to every person that bought a house from you in the last 6 months, right? So the general rule is 2 to 5 years for tax purposes, but because of the pandemic, I'd probably just do everybody you sold a house to in the last 5 years. Now, the mindset is you got to think service, not sales. This is not a sales presentation. This is you delivering value to the customer. So I want to get together with them face-to-face, only there to be their advisor. I'm your forever agent, not a transaction agent. I am your forever agent. I'm here for you today, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. This is what I do. Now, with that said, again, you're going to get a copy of all of this. The home equity review presentation, step 1 is like, let me educate you on the local versus national market. Hey, Courtney and Miles, has anybody taken the time to show you guys the difference between what the national real estate stories are saying versus what's actually happening right here in the ranch, right? Then they're gonna be like, well, no, we just, we see on CNN, we read in Bloomberg that everyone's going to die and the whole world's falling apart. Well, let me show you the national news, some of those headlines. Then let me show you the local data. Then I'm going to show you some slides from KCM, right? Keeping Current Matters. And then I'm going to say, well, what questions you guys have about the market? Then I'm going to show them a CMA on their house and their equity. Now, high level, it's so easy to pull headlines. The cooling housing market enters a great deceleration. Please write this in your notes. Headlines do more to terrify than they ever do to clarify. Remember, Michael Jackson's Alien Baby. You're like walking through and you see like the National Enquirer. You're like, Michael Jackson's Alien Baby. What does it mean, right? Clickbait, baby. Clickbait. That's all it is. But we have to educate our customers so they understand that the clickbait nationally is just to get clicks. Let's talk about what's going on in the local marketplace. So decelerating home prices does not mean depreciating home prices. That's an important reminder for all of us. Just because home price appreciation is slowing down does not mean they're going backwards. So we know from the home price appreciation index survey, if you bought a house in 2022, what the expected value is going to be 6 years out, right? But here's what's great. If you would have said to somebody, well, what's it going to look like in 21? No one knew, or in 20, no one knew what was going to happen in Boise, Idaho, that a $400,000 house was going to be worth $625 the next year and then $875 the following year. We've got to educate people so they understand that this year we're expecting 9%, 9.3, and next year it's going to drop to 4.9. And then it might go to 3.12. And a lot of that is dependent upon one thing. Can the federal government continue to raise the rates, slow down the economy, drive inflation down? And then what happens when inflation drives down? interest rates go from here down to here, like we saw, by the way, in the last 24 hours. Pretty interesting now in the fives, right? As interest rates drop, what happens to homes? The transaction count picks up again. But they're saying pretty moderately, this is what everybody's expecting. Now, I think just handing that to a past client, handing that to someone in your sphere and saying, congratulations, we're going to go back to just moderate appreciation every year, right? That's the forecast for the next 5. And then I want to say, by the way, all this suggests that you can't time the market, or certainly the future of interest rates. If you're waiting for rates to fall, you're going to be waiting for a long time.